Hello, good afternoon. People in Jamaica are bracing for the world's most powerful storm of the year to hit the Caribbean island. Hurricane Melissa has been classified as a Category 5 storm, the highest possible alert level, and is set to make landfall in the coming hours. The Jamaican government says it's done all it can to prepare, but meteorologists have warned that the storm could bring catastrophic flash flooding, landslides and even total structural failure. This is the latest seen on Negril on the west coast of the country. It's thought the hurricane could be the strongest to hit the island since records began. Officials say 3 people in Jamaica have already died, setting up defences for their homes, while an estimated 50,000 are without power. 4 people have been killed in Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Ahead of the hurricane hitting the North Caribbean, a crew of US Air Force pilots known as hurricane hunters flew through the eye of the storm on a reconnaissance mission to gain critical data of the strength of the storm. Overnight, Jamaica's Meteorological Service warned of potential significant rainfall and flash flooding.
Mostly central and eastern parishes would be inundated by the heaviest rainfall that would get up to 30 inches. We're talking about 750 millimeters of rainfall. We're not accustomed to measuring that. I'm not even too sure if our rain gauges will fully be able to deal with that kind of capacity before they are renewed. But we, of course, will make every effort to provide the best data after the event as possible. But here we see the heavy rainfall producing significant flooding, and this will be over most of the island.
Well, earlier we spoke to Andrew Tracey, who's a holidaymaker currently stranded in Jamaica, and has described the sense of fear as to how much damage the hurricane could cause.
So the situation is pretty dire at the moment. So from 2 a.m. Jamaican time, so a few hours ago now, the wind really started to pick up. Currently, the balcony and the walls do feel as though they are vibrating, just due to the strength of the wind. I'm currently staying in a hotel in Negril. So since yesterday, we've been on lockdown. So we've been having to stay in our room, and food packages are arriving when possible and when safe to do so. But yeah, so I've been staying in the hotel room, and we have to stay here until at least Wednesday. It's been made very clear to us out here and to the locals that there hasn't ever been a hurricane like the strength of this one to hit the island. So although the locals have been very reassuring and the workers at the hotel, there is a real sense of nerves from them as well as to, how much damage this may actually cause. But I mean, I haven't actually got access to TV at the moment. There is no signal here. But I'm just hoping that when everything does come back and when the sun does shine, the island isn't completely devastated. Over the last few days, the hotel that I've been staying at, they've removed the deck chairs from the beach. Any signage that may fly off. They've drained the pools. They've secured ceiling fans as well, and there are sandbags everywhere you go as well. We have been instructed to remove the mattresses from our bed and put them against the wall, as it's very likely that these windows will blow out. And we've been instructed to remain locked in the bathroom until the end of the storm.
Well, talking in the last hour, the Foreign Secretary, Yvette Cooper, said the UK is prepared to mobilise resources to the Caribbean.
Hurricane Melissa is expected to make landfall in Jamaica shortly, potentially the most severe storm ever to hit the country. Sadly, 7 people have already reportedly lost their lives across the region, and thousands are in shelters now as they wait the storm's arrivals. Many people will be thinking of family and friends in Jamaica and in the region. I spoke with the Jamaican Foreign Minister yesterday to offer the UK's full support and solidarity, and we are prepared to mobilise resources at their request. And the FCDO stands ready to help British nationals 24/7. We have set up the Crisis Centre in the Foreign Office, including with support from the MOD. And we are also positioning specialist rapid deployment teams to provide consular assistance to British nationals in the region. Any British nationals who are there should follow our travel advice and the advice of the Jamaican authorities. Melissa is forecast to impact Cuba next, and potentially the Turks and Caicos Islands and the Bahamas. Ministers have spoken with the governors of the overseas territories in the region, and we hope that these islands are spared significant damage. The UK government is also preparing to deliver humanitarian assistance to affected areas with a focus on meeting the immediate needs of those who are most vulnerable, and we send the people of Jamaica our support and solidarity today.
Well, let's take a look at the storm in more detail. Forecasters believe it could become the strongest hurricane ever to hit Jamaica, with parts of the country potentially seeing around a metre of rain. Melissa grew from a tropical storm to a Category 5 hurricane on its way towards Jamaica, one of the fastest intensifications ever seen in the Caribbean. Experts say the ocean surface temperature in the Caribbean is unusually high, around 2 to 3 degrees above normal, and Melissa has fed on those warm conditions, allowing it to develop rapidly as it moved slowly through the region over the weekend. The warmer ocean waters, increased rainfall and intensified wind speeds have all contributed to the storm's intensification. Well, climate scientists say these global warming symptoms now make a Category 4 hurricane 500 times more likely. The 2025 Atlantic hurricane season has already produced 3 Category 5 hurricanes for the first time in 20 years. Well, joining me now with the latest is our science correspondent, Thomas Moore. Thomas, we've just had the latest wind speeds. It's getting faster. This is a big one, isn't it?
Yes, this 180 miles an hour sustained wind speed, and those are in the eye wall, just around the very centre of the hurricane. That's where you will find the strongest wind speeds, and then they drop off, but still hurricane speed 30 miles away. So this is a large area that is going to be affected by these very, very strong winds, and the US National Hurricane Center says that it expects total structural failure within those that eye wall wind. Nothing will withstand that. And then we heard that from the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, this morning as well, saying there's no infrastructure in the region can withstand a Category 5. So it's not just the wind, it's also the rain that is being carried by this hurricane, because those warm seas that you've described, the warm air too above, that holds a lot more moisture, about 7% for every 1 degree increase in the air temperature. And that is all going to come down, particularly over the high areas of Jamaica. A lot of rain causing mudslides and also flash flooding. Communities will be cut off.
You talk about total structural damage for the buildings that this hurricane will sweep across. Do we know, does it matter where it hits in Jamaica? I mean, or is it the whole island will be?
Well, it's the track has shifted. So yesterday they were anticipating that it would go over Kingston, the capital. Now, on one hand, that's heavily populated, but it also tends to be, the buildings tend to be more structurally sound. It's now going to hit the western side. Now, along the southern coast, you've got a lot of resort hotels. We heard from one guest of one just now, a tourist, who said that the concrete structure was sound, but he'd still been told to use the mattress off the bed as a shield, and also to shelter within the bathroom, presumably because there are no windows there. The biggest risk is flying glass. But he also said that around the hotel, the structures are made of wood, of corrugated metal. This is not going to withstand a wind of this speed, and that's why people are really fearing that there's going to be an awful lot of people who may be harmed, or certainly going to be without a home for weeks to come. And
just remind us, the times do keep changing, but what time are we expecting it to really hit Jamaica and it to really be bad?
Yeah, so at the moment it's 40 miles off the south coast. It has picked up forward speed, so it was crawling at around 3 miles an hour earlier this morning, but that's now 7 miles an hour and it's expected to accelerate further towards the coast. So it's difficult to predict, but it's probably going to be mid-afternoon that it crosses over, the eye of the storm crosses over the coast, but then moves quite rapidly across the island. So by 7 o'clock local time this evening, that's midnight here, you'd expect it to be clear on the other side and potentially picking up speed again as it heads towards Cuba.
OK, and we'll talk about that in a short while. Thomas, thank you very much.